So this is a lawsuit that was filed today. And that's me suing Dominion. And this is one of the lawsuits against Dominion. Now, I did it as a verified complaint, which means that they have to respond under oath. And I am suing Dominion for using my affidavit as evidence of defamation. When you file something in a court of law that a judge has now declared a valid claim, you are now laying claim that my affidavit is perjury. Just so you guys know, in the cases like Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona, the court never said that my sources were unreliable. The court never mentioned my name. The court never even discussed my testimony. The court actually never stated that my testimony is false. But Dominion did. Dominion did so in their lawsuit against Sidney Powell and others. Every single paragraph in my affidavit is sworn testimony given under oath and penalty of perjury. Defendants, which is Dominion, use my affidavit as evidence of defamation. That means the defendants, Dominion, libeled and defamed me in a defamation suit against Sidney Powell. That means that the defendants have not disproved, which is true, my allegation in regards to my affidavit. They haven't even disproved a paragraph on it, not even a word, because they can't disprove any paragraph, and they have libeled me. Therefore, Dominion, declaring that me is guilty of a crime of perjury by portraying it as false information. Therefore, I'm entitled to compensation. I want you to know they're suing Sidney Powell for $1.6 billion. I thought I'd give it a one-up. If they're allowed to sue Sidney Powell for defamation, I should have my time in court so that they can prove that I was lying and that it's not real. So they need to go through every single paragraph and disprove it. I'm going to tell you right now, they can't. They cannot. Because even when it was filed, my affidavit was the only one that was backed up with documents and receipts. Some receipts, I left the calling cards for public information. Remember, those judges can read cases. They're not like the media or random people on the internet that just looks at, headlines. They can't even sue Lindell, Byrne, Giuliani, or anybody else until they address my affidavit. You know that they're connected to the internet when you take one of the components out. It's fact. They said it themselves. They connect. You don't need to prove it when they said it themselves. For some reason, we're on the defense. It's not my choice, and it's not my job to decide how God wants to work. He does as he wants. The bottom line here is they lost. They now have to answer all the questions in my affidavit. Every single one, not one, right? Not one, every single one. So here's where I just say I'm over 21, what I've done, my formal training, this, correct. So here, well-versed because of my assignments in the HAB Act, on or about October 2017, I had reached out to U.S. Senate Majority Leader with an affidavit claiming that our elections in 2017 may be null and void due to lack of EAC certification. In fact, Senator Wyden sent a letter to Jack Cobb on October 31st, 2017, advising discreetly, pointing out the importance of being certified. EAC had issued a certificate to them. It had expired. So I'll tell you what, none of them were certified correctly. Wyden took the bait when he saw it, and he approached Pro V&V and said, you got to be certified. What are you doing? And he sent them that letter on October 31st because his accreditation had lapsed. So let's see how they're going to answer that question. This congressionally passed law. Let's move along. Again, here we go with the certifications, right? And how as you can see here, they get a 1-year validation. How did you get 1 year when they're supposed to be all like this? Not only that, the accreditation manual says different. Now, with all these states that we're questioning, because I have all 50 states, I have this whole document. Think of it this way. This tells you what is approved and what is not approved in your state in regarding certification. Georgia's really interesting because that's where the goods are. So here we go, where I'm talking about these accredited labs that don't have any up-to-date EAC certification, because the most important part of that is they check COTS, right? COTS is off-the-shelf components, modems, software that is on those modems, software on anything. They're just cheaper, so people use them. So I showed this. So you see, all of this is sourced. I got testimony from Jack Cobb in 2009. Key issue that most of the COTS used by election, that's Dominion, ESS, Heart InterCivic, Smartmatic, and others, all of them are the problem, is my point. Talking about how they get hacked. Ooh, Chinese manufacturers like Huawei. And then I showed Akamai Technologies. Now, this is where it gets a little bit weird. So one thing that we need to understand is China. And Chinese Link Cloud Services work with Seidel. Seidel works with all of them. Akamai has bought Unicom. Akamai is Chinese. Well, obviously, they're not also going to tell you that they also have had a Chinese office. In addition to that, here the networking thing where you see Akamai, I put that network out to show how Michigan.gov was going through certain hubs, just showing it, just paying attention to that, no big deal. Showed how and what, how. These are all verified things. Michigan's government site is thumped off Akamai Technology, which is housed on a foreign server in freaking Germany. Like I pointed out, all evidence. I'm not just saying things, I'm showing it. See, there's a lot of links, as you can see here, like making it the provider of the highest number of participating states, talking about Seidel programs, right? Everything is cited. There's nothing you can debunk in here, nothing. So then we go back to talking algorithms. Rather than me show them the algorithm, because we're just going to point to the person during the hearings that actually knows this algorithm. Well, the master key to the trapdoor, right? I'm showing that around the world, the problem that we have, and these are elections, right? Obviously, I'm talking more on the technical point, how they do it, how the scripts are done, right? What a trapdoor is, the crypto tech term. Here's my math showing you how they steal votes, right? But the problem that you have is that you can't prove that they're cheating, but you can't prove that they're not cheating. So in essence, what they're telling you is that you need to just accept and trust them. So what we need is the ultimate master key, the keystone to all of this stuff. And so, zero proof of integrity of the vote. At the end of the day, no matter what, if you cannot prove that those votes are solid and that there is no fraud, then you cannot be trusted. Obviously, we show where this stall happened for the algorithm adjustment, and that was to buy times, but we saw this before. I have seen the same action before, and I know that there are government records for this action before, a few times.
85. I can personally attest that in 2013, discussions by the Obama/Biden administration were being had with various agencies in the deployment of such election software to be deployed in redacted location in 2013. 89. Under the guise of crisis support, the U.S. federal taxpayers funded the deployment of the election software and machines in redacted location, signing on with Seidel.
Right here, deleted key files. Right here, they complained about it. Oh, guess who they blamed? Russia. So again, it was so weird that in some states, some certifications were given less than 30 days before the elections. Here's some of the stuff they have in their machines. Modems. What do modems do? This is the problem that we're having. We cannot target the IPs because we should have had that anyway. And the modems, they auto erase on their own. I have a sworn statement from Patrick Berge that clearly states that, and he's an expert in those things. If you don't have them within a week or two, max a month, those override themselves by themselves. Now, there is recorded data within the systems if they're locked in, but like Mike Lindell said, they've been deleting that stuff or replanting information, which makes it unverifiable. So why are we chasing something that we know they did? To prove that they did it, you can't prove that they didn't, and you can't prove that they did. Therefore, you just have to sit there and what? Accept it? No. And this is the same thing. GEMS deployed all machines, taken contractor, Tampa. Look, everything is in there. Look at that. So weird. I just threw that in there for a minute. But as you can see here, I'm showing that there's Akamai technology portals. I was posting this on Twitter, and the fact that Twitter deleted my Twitter account means they destroyed evidence, which we can get back, of course, because I was showing that printers and phones were allowing me to connect to different government databases. So let's keep going. Akamai Technologies. Look at this. Akamai Technologies. Locations around the world. Akamai Technologies has locations in China. Akamai Technologies has locations in Iran. Akamai Technologies merged with Unicom, which is Chinese telecom, in 2018. Akamai Technologies house all state.gov information in Germany via Telia LB. This is fact. The EAC failed to abide standards. The IG and the EAC failed to address complaints. These are the people you need to hold accountable. This is it. Plain and simple, all cited and sourced. This is their actual data. Their actual data, where 23,000 residents of the Department of Corrections of Prison in that state only requested absentee ballots. How do you get male and female from one? Like, what kind of prison is this with 23,000 people? That's an insane amount of people in one place. This is what they have to disprove. Okay? This is what needs to be disproved. You can't sit there and call someone a perjurer if you can't prove that they committed perjury. See, everything that I put in there is nicely sourced. This is why the judges skipped over me. They could go to someone that said, well, I thought I saw a bag, or I'm an expert at this, and I did this, and I did that. I didn't say any of that. I said, I know of this. I did this in my work. This is how it happened. Didn't make any radical claims, right? I just put it straight fact, laser focus. Focus on the machines. Focus on their certification. Focus on the fact that you can't prove they cheated. You can't prove they did it because they won't let you look inside. And when they say, well, that's not true, I have thousands, global papers that have said the same thing. All PhDs. You try and say they're all stupid? I mean, let's just get that right. You have to be laser focused on things that you cannot dispute. They've already said that I committed perjury by filing that as evidence of fraud or defamation. This is where it gets fun. Because it's one thing when you have a tool like the Washington Post, who are paid propaganda, and military industrial complex. And it's another for another. And the reason that I'm telling you this is because it's just been filed. So the only way that they can stop what's coming is by taking me out. And that's not going to happen. This is where you get them to answer questions. The truth never, ever, ever comes in a Ferrari. It comes in a donkey. And that's the problem. People want the truth yesterday. You can't. You gotta wait for when the right time is. And until then, you'll just be getting a lot of misinformation. So we did the whole let's trash Tory thing. It's not gonna work. So what's the next step? A lot of people said they'll pull the national security thing and shut it down. Hold on a second. Why would Dominion, which is a Canadian company, have anything to do with national security and secrets? Why do we have secrets? They have control of the machines. They have control of the government. The government is actually controlling that. And again, You're going to see how it comes out. I've sourced every single thing. I have evidence for everything, and I also have some extra. Let's go. You just said I committed perjury. That's against the law. So let's go.